down here. And I gotta do a thing here. There it is. Let me refresh this. And why ain't it going yet? Let's refresh. Refresh again. There we go. All right, cool. All right, so you guys have 2 sheets of paper, and we're gonna title this. We're gonna title this hand drawing. So this up here, hand drawing. All right, hand drawing, and period 4, 12, 6, 20, 24. All right, put the date up there, and let's talk about hands. So let's put a line up here, short line here. We're going to put a short line right here. Now, we want this, take your pencil like so, and we're going to go down like that, and we're going to go like this, or you can just want this equal to this, and I'm going to tell you guys why, okay? And then we're going to go like this. We're going to put a little arc lightly. You see where I'm holding my pencil? I'm not holding it way up here in the front. I'm holding it kind of in the middle, okay? And we're gonna do a little arc, shorter arc up here, okay? We're gonna taper down like this. Okay, last class I didn't get to the hand box necessarily, so maybe this period we will get to that, okay? What we're doing here is we're sketching in a basic hand shape, okay? You look at my hand right here. We have, it's narrow here, and then it gets wider. So I'm going from here to here. We're ignoring the thumb right now. Okay, we're just going from here to here. And that's here to here. Okay? Here to here, here to here. All right? Fingers taper in. Like so. This is simple hand. And you can also check your measurement, boom, boom, like that. Now this is diagrammatical, this pose, but as you can see on the screen, we have something we're gonna be drawing soon. We'll be drawing together. I'm gonna guide you guys through this. Down here we have our wrist, which comes down, it's straight. So here we have our hand bones, which are curved. You're like, what do you mean your hand bones? Well, isn't this our whole hand? Yes, it's our whole hand. Now, in here, down here, we have our wrist. And this right here is your ulna. Okay, this is your ulna bone, and it goes all the way back. Becomes part of your elbow, the major part of your elbow. You have also a bone that you can't really see. It's right here. It's called your radius. And the ulna doesn't move, and the radius, it radiates, it turns. It turns back and forth, okay? It swivels on the ulna here, this bone that goes from here to here. So you have a bone right here, and you have the rest of it is the radius. So your ulna is narrow here, the radius is wide here. So this is your radius. This little ball right here, this is your ulna. This is the end of the ulna. Okay, and this is the end of the radius. The radius kind of curves, and your hand is attached to the radius. So you have these bones right here. There's 8 of them. They're about stop about right here. And see, it's not attached to the ulna over here. They sit in a little shape like this. Here's your bones of your lower arm, and your hand bones do this. Okay, so they sit in a little like seat. Okay? And then coming off of here, you have another part or bony structure. And like I said, there's 8 bones in here. You don't need to know those, okay? But what we do need to know is the simple skeletal structure of the hand, okay? This is a bony structure over here that comes out, and that's where your thumb resides. And the thumb pretty much goes, where does the thumb end? So you have this lining up to this knuckle here. This ends below that first digit of the pointer finger. So this kind of comes out. We're going to go, that right there, what's this? This arc right there that's these, your knuckles right here. Okay, going. And it could go in an arc, or you could go, okay, it goes up. And we're going to bring this over. We're going to bring this over slightly like that. And then this comes back down, okay? What do you mean? And you're like, well, what do you mean it goes up, then it comes back down? So you could use an arc, or you could use a straight line. Because your middle finger knuckle is the highest up, and your middle finger is the longest. Next in line, you have the pointer finger and the ring finger are about at the same level, and your pointer finger and your ring finger are about the same length. Some people's ring finger is longer, like mine's a little bit longer, I think, and my pointer finger is a little bit shorter. Look at where the pinky, how much shorter the pinky is than everything else. The pinky ends at that first digit of your ring finger. Now, what I'm teaching you today about the hand is great. If you can draw a hand, you can sculpt a hand. If you understand the forms and the structure of the hand, you'll be able to sculpt it better, okay? But anyway, let's go back to the thumb. The thumb comes up, and it kind of has this S curve. Okay, you see this little S curve right here? This kind of comes up. I think the thumb's going to end about like that, okay? So something like that. Okay. Here's a knuckle here. Here's a knuckle here. Here's a knuckle about here. Here's a knuckle about here. Okay? So here's and I'm lightly drawing those in, okay? What is a knuckle? What is a knuckle? A knuckle is where one bone ends and another bone begins, okay? So what does that look like? What's happening underneath the skin? To draw more realistically, hands better, feet better, heads better, the human body better, animals better, you need to understand skeletal structure. You need to understand bone structure, what the bones look like, and what the muscles look like that are attached to the bones. Additionally, after you learn that, I would encourage you to learn fatty tissue deposits. Where does fatty tissue deposit on the human body as well? There are certain places where fatty tissue deposits. And if you know that, then you're going to be doing really well as far as realism is concerned. You're like, well, I don't want to learn realism. I don't care. Well, that's fine. You don't have to use any of this in your artistic career or any more in your life. You're like, hey, I'm just here to get a grade. And that's cool too. At least you're learning. My objective as the teacher, okay, is to level you guys up. I want the people who want to be artists. I want you to be able for you to achieve that goal. I want you to be able to achieve that dream. Okay, you will be able to do it. Okay, if you put in the work. All right. So anyway, let's go on. Let's keep drawing here. So, first proportion. If you look at the hand, here to here is about equal. Bottom of the wrist to the knuckle, knuckle to that middle finger. About. Now these are abouts. They can be a little bit. They can deviate slightly. It's not like a hard fast rule. Here's equal. This is equal to this. You guys see that? Now watch this. This is equal to this. Now look. This is about equal to this. Now watch this. This area here, from the knuckle to the bottom of the nail bed, is about equal to the nail to the end of the finger. Okay? But that's not just here. This is about equal to this. This is about equal to this. This is about equal to this. Here, that's about equal to this. 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 That's about equal to that. Okay? Now, if you flip the hand around the palm and you go like this and you just bend the palm slightly, you'll see this crease going across. Now, check this out. That crease aligns with the knuckles on the other side. Knuckles on this side align with the crease. Okay, that's about equal to that. Okay, see that? So that's about equal to that. This is a little bit longer on me, you know, but these are abouts, basic proportions. Okay, so we go boom, boom, here to here, little dash, little dash. That's going to be the middle finger. So that's going to come down like so. Now, look at the shape I'm making. Okay? I've tapered this. So we draw a straight line, narrow, wide. So that's tapering. Okay? Narrow, 2, wide. And the whole human body is pretty much set up like this. Okay? It tapers. Now, let's look at other proportions. Look at the location of the pointer finger and the ring finger. They end about where the halfway down the first digit of the middle finger. So we go, okay, they're going to end about right here. Okay, so there's our pointer finger. And we're going to have our ring finger like so. And then we have our pinky. Let's check that out. Where does that end? The pinky ends at or about at the end of the first digit of the ring finger. So that's about down here. But let's do this first. Let's go. Okay. So let's divide this in half here. That's about right there. Okay. And this is equal to this. And then let's divide this section in half. Okay, like so. So that's the middle finger. Now let's do that to the pointer finger. So this distance, let's divide that in half. And then we're going to go first digit of the pointer finger to the end here. Let's divide that in half. Okay, so this is where our knuckles are. And you'll see where I'm going with this. We come across like this. It's a slight arc. There's the first digit of the ring finger and the first digit of, or the second digit. Knuckle, digit, digit, digit. Okay. Now, we know the pinky ends right about here. See? At the base of that digit. Now, I don't know if you guys notice what I'm doing here, but I'm curving this rectangle. This is like a rectangle. It's a rectangular shape. Why am I curving this slightly? Why am I curving the pinky slightly? Why am I curving the pointer finger slightly? Why is the middle finger straight? And let's put the end of let's widen up that middle finger here. Why is the ring finger slightly curved as well? Because if you look at the hand, you're putting the hand out. Your pointer finger slightly curves inward. There's a slight curve. The middle finger straight. The ring finger barely curves a little bit, and the pinky curves inward a little bit. Okay? So that's what's going on there. And I'm going to go a little bit more on the ring finger, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And let's divide this. So where's that first digit of the ring finger, or the pinky is above the ring. So it's right there and right here. So we got That's about halfway. There we go. That's about equal to that. That's about equal to that. And these are abouts. It's like the proportion of the human face when we get into that, and I teach you guys that, that's abouts as well. Okay? Let's put that thumb in here, like so. Now, I want to talk about lines in art. When you're drawing the human figure or animals or things that are organic. You could also, I'm sure these things could be mechanical too. You could apply it to things that are mechanical or human-made and not just nature-made. Organic usually means nature. Okay, we're talking about hands, feet, humans, whatever, okay? Now, lines. We have the S-curve. And the S-curve could be long and then short. It could be short and then long. It can be compressed. But there's the S-curve, okay? Be aware of the S-curve in the human body and in other things that you're drawing, okay? The S-curve. And you have the C-curve or an arc, okay? So the C-curve could be long and then quick or long and then quick. It could be compressed. It can go any way. Okay, C-curve. And then you have the straight. Just a straight or an I, a straight line. Okay? And straight lines can go any direction. They could be any length. Be aware of those three lines. All right. Now, let's put in the basic bone structure of the hand. We talked about these 8 bones down here. Okay, these are the carpals. You don't need to know the names of them. Each of these 8 bones has a name. But anyway, these are the carpals. These bones in the middle here, these are the metacarpals. Okay, and then your fingers are your phalanges. Okay, phalanges or fingers. Okay? So, from your carpals, this is the basic structure. This is rounded, and it comes down, tapers in, like so, connects to the hand bone. This is rounded on top, tapers in, connects to the bones of the hand. Rounded on top, tapers in and out. Rounded on top, tapers in. Okay. Now, I'm drawing in shapes right now. This is all shape. Okay? And shapes are flat. And our thumb bone pretty much does the same thing. Rounded over here. Okay, that ends about halfway right here. So this ends about halfway. And that's going to be, now, let me pause for a second, let you guys catch up. So the tops of these, the knuckles right here, right? It's rounded here. And then pretty much this goes flat, tapers in and out, and then the top is round, and it's pretty much flat. Now watch this, it tapers in at the end of the thumb, and at the end of each finger, there's a little dome shape or a triangular shape. And this is called the tuft, okay? And your tendons attached to the tuft here, okay? So it's like a triangle or a dome shape, this thing right here. Okay. So this is flat, attaches here, rounded here. This is flat, Tapers in and out, rounded at the end. I shouldn't say it's flat. I should say it does this, but saying it's flat kind of simplifies it. See, I'm going like this, and then I'm going like that. They actually go more like this. They fit together. But I don't want to overcomplicate things. I want to kind of simplify it, but I think you guys can understand that. But it does do this. There's a little gap, and but each finger bone, I could go into that and break that down. But I want to try and streamline this today, so you guys get a basic understanding. I don't want to, because I could go. We could draw hands for a whole month, and I could go into the anatomy of each and the structure. The drawing structure of each finger. We can go deep, but we're just gonna kind of touch the surface today. We're going a little bit above, but okay. Straight. Oh, this needs to be taller. Just kidding. This needs to go like this. Sorry. That needs to go like that. Okay. Straight here. Taper in, rounded top, straight here, taper, tuft at the end. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, let's do this one. Rounded at the top, straight, taper in and out, rounded at the top, straight, taper in and out, and put the tuft at the top. So these are all flat shapes that we're drawing right now. But we need to understand shapes of things, and we need to understand the three-dimensional structure of things as well. Okay? All right, let's go to the pinky. You guys see how the tuft is more triangular, right? Okay. Straight, curving in and out, round the top, straight, curving in and out, and put that triangular type. Okay, so there we go. Give you guys a couple moments to digest that and to finish that drawing. Something I didn't get to the other, the other class, something I'm going to give you guys right now, but I'm going to end up teaching that to them anyway. Now we're talking about shape. Now, each of these bony structures, right? This and this and this, each segment, these are segments, right? Each of these segments in the fingers is basically a rectangle, okay? But what we've done is we've tweaked the rectangle. We've puckered it in. We've made it straight. We've made it curved, okay? So we change this rectangular shape, all right? Now, let's move over to, well, let's do this. Let's just take this rectangular shape and put it over here. So now we're going to take this rectangle, let's put a rectangle right here. Let's do a straight line, just like this. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this a little bit better. Okay? And we're going to go like this, and we're going to go like this. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to go like this, and then we're going to go down like this, and we're going to go down like this. And I'm going to tell you why we did it like that, okay? This line right here, this is an axis. This is an imaginary line that goes down the center of something. You're like, what are you talking about? It goes down the center of something. You can have an imaginary axis that goes down the center of this pencil. You can have an imaginary axis that goes down the center of this digit of my finger. You can have an imaginary axis that goes down the middle of the speaker right here. Okay? And that's important. Hold on to that thought, that imaginary line. Okay, because that's how you're going to draw a finger coming towards you in space, right? Or moving away from you in space, because it has a certain axis. It has a certain angle, way it's moving. Now, what I want you to do, there's another tool here before the rectangle. It's called the ellipse. And let's go over here to the other page now. Okay? And let's draw an ellipse. So that's an ellipse. Okay, let's draw an ellipse going like this. Now look at this. Here's an ellipse as well. It's wider. Here's an ellipse as well. It's wider. Now, when I'm drawing an ellipse, let's draw another one going in this direction. Okay? When I'm drawing an ellipse, what I'm thinking is axis. I'm thinking, hey, this has an axis going across, and it has an angle. Ellipses have angles to them, or axes, okay? And this could be going in space like that. This could be straight like that. This could be straight across. This could be at an angle like that. And you're like, an angle like that? What are you talking about? I'm just introducing these ideas to you, and it'll start to make sense. So if I was going to draw, you know, an ellipse, starting from ground up, I would do this. I would go, okay, let's draw a straight line like this. Put a dash here. Put a dash here. Let's put a shorter straight line in the middle. Put a dash here. Put a dash here. Okay. So this is these are axes or center lines. The axis is actually the center point right here. So that's the axis. That's the axis. That's the axis. That's the axis. And these are dividing lines. Now, to draw a proper ellipse, we got to make sure that this is rounded here. Right there. To draw a proper ellipse, we want to make sure that this is rounded here. Okay, that there are no corners, because this is a rounded thing. Okay? Now, you don't have to put this line and this line in it. Okay? When you're drawing an ellipse, and you don't have to put this line or this line in it when you're drawing a cylinder. You're like, what are you talking about? Watch. Let's go like this. So just go like that. And let's go like this. And let's go like this. But see, what I'm doing here is I'm connecting that ellipse, making sure that ellipse is connecting to the walls of that cylinder, these straight lines, making sure that that's connected as well, okay? So I'm being kind of loose with my line, but I want to be accurate, okay? And the combination of a straight line and two ellipses makes a cylinder. Cylinder, 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 cylinder. Learn how to draw cylinders. Okay, now, so here's a cylinder. Like, okay, cool, big deal, I drew a cylinder. Now, it's what you can do with this tool. Let's go back to our fingers over here. Let's take a look. What do we have over here? We have 1, 2, 3 cylinders. 1, 2, 3 cylinders, okay? Division right there, division right there. How do we connect cylinders? Let's go over here. Let's just go, hey, let's connect 3 cylinders. Let's go up like this. let's go like this, and let's go like this. This one's gonna be longer than this and this. Why is this? Oh, you guys can't see, just kidding. Thank you. Okay, there we go. All right, I made this longer than this and this. Why? Because our proportions, remember the proportions? This is about equal to these two. That's about equal to these two. That will be this. This will be this. And this will be this. Okay? But that changes slightly if like the finger's coming toward, it changes if the finger's coming towards you. The measurements, those distances, they become foreshortened. Or if the fingers are moving away from you, these distances become foreshortened, but you still want to think of the divisions and the digits and the proportions. Okay, so let's wrap this around like so. And what I do is I went more pressure, less, more, less, more, less, more, less. But I'm still making that, I'm still thinking round. I'm still thinking, okay, that's wrapping around, wrapping around, wrapping around, wrapping around, wrapping around. Okay? Now let's go like this. All right? Now let's go like this. And this is my axis, this is my axis, this is my axis, my imaginary line going through each finger digit. Now we're going to keep the cylinders simple right now. We're going to connect them together. We're going to connect these like this. Now this one's going to taper. This one's going to go like this, and it's going to be like that. Okay, so we got a little finger that's kind of doing this. Okay, the end of the finger is smaller, it's tapered. So we do this. So there's our basic construction of the finger. We want to be thinking three-dimensionally, okay? If you're thinking that way, if you're identifying a photograph or a real person, okay, or your own hand in this manner, it's going to make your drawings look realistic and believable. Okay? So a cylinder is a tool. It's a visual tool for you to use. Also the box. Okay? Now, let's go there for a second. Let's talk about the box for a second. These are both tools, visual tools for you to use as an artist. Okay, and I should say a realistic artist. All right, the box. So let's just go like this. I know I haven't taught you guys any perspective yet, but just do this. This is the top of a box, okay? And let's bring this down. And let's taper this in slightly. Let's taper this in slightly. And this line, and this line are about the same. They're the same height, okay? Let's just make them the same height. This is a little bit longer because it's closer to us. These are shorter away, farther away. And we're going to connect, and we're going to connect. Okay? Now, there's our cool little box. Why does that matter? I'll explain in a minute. But look over at this cylinder. Look, we drew through. It's transparent. It's made of glass. Here's our axis going through the angle of our cylinder. You don't always have to put that axis in, but be aware that it's there, okay? Here's this has an axis too. Now, let's do this. Back here, this corner, this comes down, draw this lightly, draw this lightly, draw that lightly, Okay, now we've drawn this box, transparent, like it's made of glass. You want to be thinking of all 6 sides when you draw something that's box-like. Even this hand is kind of like a box, okay? It has sides. You have this side, okay? I'm gonna call this the left side. You have the top, you have the right side, you have the bottom, you have the front here, and you have the back. So you have 6 sides to things usually, okay? And I'm gonna be talking about and showing you how perspective, okay? Now, so the box is super, super important, okay? We have the cylinder, which is rounded, the box, which is angular, and then you also have another tool, we'll go here anyway, it's called the ovoid. And an ovoid could be anything rounded, like egg shape, circular, you know, a circle's an ovoid, okay? These are our 3 main tools that we use. What's ovoid on the hand? What's ovoidal? You're like, ovoidal, is that even a word? I don't know. But the ovoid's a tool. Look at the end of the finger. It's rounded. It has this, it's rounded this way. It's rounded around. Okay, so it goes around like so, and it goes around like so. You have this ovoidal type shape at the end of each finger. And muscles on your body, the bicep is like an ovoid. But the weird thing is the bicep can kind of be box-like, or it could be cylindrical. Okay, you take your pick, whatever wins, whatever works for you in art. Okay, so here's our 3 main tools in making something look 3-dimensional. Okay, we haven't talked about shading yet, and we will. Now, let's go back to this finger up here. And let's look at a finger. The top of the finger, I want to point some things out. The top of the finger, if you feel the top of your own finger, it's tendon and bone. It's angular and flat-ish. It's flat-ish. I know these fingers are rounded, but the bottom part has fatty tissue on the bottom, more tissue. It's rounded on the bottom. Like if you bend your finger, you can feel the bone sticking out on top. You can feel softness on the bottom. Okay? Knowing that it's harder on top, okay? It's more box-like on top. We have a knuckle here. We have a side of the knuckle here and a side of the knuckle here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay? So the top of the finger up here, it's going to go across. And it's going to go like so. And it's going to go across. And it's going to go like that. Okay? The top of the finger is more box-like. Now, we don't see the top here. We kind of see it over here. But here we see the bottom of the finger. Now look at this. What we're going to do now is we're going to round that out. Why? Because this is fatty tissue and grabbing tissue. It's soft here. So we're going to round that out here. And then also, we're going to round this out like so. We're adding on that cylindrical ovoid stuff on the bottom of the finger. Okay? And then we're going to go like this. We're going to round that out as well. Now you're like, oh, that's starting to kind of look like a real finger. You know, or the Loch Ness Monster, I guess. But because we're adding that stuff on there. Okay? Now, what do we do about the fingernail? To make it look, now we see that this is kind of curving under, and you can do that, I get it. But like, this is coming toward this. We're going to arc over. We're going to go back. Now watch this. We're going to go arc over, and there's our fingernail. With a little bit, here's the end of the finger. It's rounded, right? I'll erase that a little bit gently. Gentle erasing because I'm kind of, all right? And there we have our finger. And then you have that little bit of skin wrapping around the nail bed there. little S curve. Let me zoom in here since I'm getting more detailed here on this, this finger. All right, cool. Now, this is still the top of the finger here, okay? Box-like. Rounded, wrapping around. We're wrapping around. We're wrapping around. What are these things called? You're like, wrapping around, what are you talking about? Okay, this line that I drew in, it's called a cross contour line. This line right here is called a cross contour line. And you can put as many of them as you want on your drawing. And when you're shading, which we're going to do in a minute, okay, that's going to help your thing look three-dimensional. Now, let's add some light on here. Let's say that we have light. I'm going to make this up. Let's say that we have light coming from the top. Okay, we got light coming from the top. We're going to be coming down like that. Okay, so this top surface is going to be lit. What I would also say, just through my experience, I would say that that part's lit as well as it comes down. Okay, so this is in light, L for light. This is in shadow, let's say, or dark. So we're going to shade that. And what I'm doing is I'm just scribbling. So I'm scribbling or I'm zigzagging. You see that? And I like to use that method a lot. And that's a typical method to do that. You can also do that afterwards. But right now, when I said do that, just smudge it with your finger. But we don't want to do that right now. So this is all in shadow. You're like, well, Harvard, what about this part right here? Is that in shadow if light's coming from above? Yeah, that's going to be in shadow too. I would say, hey, that's all in shadow too. Okay? And you guys can't see that, so let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Okay. So that's all going to be in shadow. Okay? When you're drawing something realistically, whether you're drawing from a photograph or real life, you want to be aware of the light source. Even if you're drawing from your imagination, you want to be able to be aware of a light source, and sometimes two light sources. Like, okay, there's a primary light source and a secondary light source, but we'll just keep it at one primary light source, okay? So there's our, we've practiced, we've talked about cylinders, we've talked about shapes. Cylinders are three-dimensional. We talked about the box, we talked about ovoids, we talked about how do you put three cylinders together? Okay, here you go. Now, let's talk about the box for a second. I'm going to zoom out here. Why is the box important? Well, if you look at the I know this is our hand. If we look at the hand portion, which would be this, not the phalanges, meaning not the fingers, okay? This part of the hand is box-like. It's like a box. It's best translated into a box. This is the top. You have a distinct, see that tendon right there? From that tendon down, that's the side. That's the left side. From here to here, look at that thickness. Okay, that's the right side. And we're kind of ignoring the thumb right now. This is a side right here as well. So we go, okay, let's go like this. We're going to go like that. We're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. We're going to go like that. Now, what did I do here? What I did was I tapered it. This is narrow. This is wide. Okay? Narrow, wide. Narrow, wide. Okay? And then we go like this. Now this is kind of, pay attention to this. And I'm going to zoom in for this because I'm going to get a little bit detailed here. Why isn't it zooming in? Oh, there we go. Just kidding. Cool. All right. So this comes down a little bit. This comes down more. This line's longer than this line. This comes down about the same as this. Why? Why is that wider? Why is this more narrow? Because if you look at the wrist, if you look at this, okay, this is wider here. And then as you move this way, it gets narrow here. This part is this part, and that part is this part. Okay? Now what's happening here? That's where your hand bones are. That's where your lower arm bones. That's where your wrist is. Okay? Now, let's just do this. One, at an angle. Look, at an angle. I'm drawing this ellipse at an angle, guys. Ellipse, 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 ellipse. Okay? That's where our fingers are attaching here. So we can go, we got a finger coming out, we got a finger coming out, we got our pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. And what did I do here? I went like boom, boom, like that, right? And these knuckles should do that too. I should go like this. Well, look at this right here. Boom, from that corner over to the middle finger, this middle finger to the edge over here. Okay? Okay? And then we go, all right, well, let's bring this line down and bring that back. Pinky finger, bring this down, and then bring that back, attaching to the hand. Bring this down, bring that back, attaching to the hand. Bring this down, and bring that back, attaching to the hand. Okay? So we have, what's happening with the fingers? They're also tapering. Wide to thin, wide to thin, wide to thin, wide to thin. Okay? So those are also wide to thin. Now let's bring now, okay, what about the thumb? There's this thing called the thumb box, okay? Let me zoom out here for a second here. So our thumb box, point, point, point. This part, point, 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 okay? It's a triangular shape, but it has thickness. It has thickness. So we start here, we're gonna go back, down, back over here. This part right here is this part right here. Okay? Actually, it's this part right here to the outer edge of the thumb. And then we're gonna go attach it here and attach it here. Now, the bone of the thumb attaches down here. Like I showed you guys over here. It attaches down here. Now let's go back over here. And then that bone comes forward. That's the first digit of the thumb, and then we go, okay, the rest of the thumb's gonna come out. And I'm simplifying this. It's gonna kind of curve a little bit. So it has 1, 2, 3 digits. The thumb has 3 digits. Each finger has 3 digits also. But my main thing I want to get across to you guys is this is dimensional. Okay, it's like a box. It goes across and it goes down. Okay, this goes across and this goes down. Now, even fingers go across and go down. So we have a finger here. Okay, because this is so small here that I was drawing, I'm gonna go like this. We're gonna go taper or ellipse, taper that, and ellipse at the end. So here's our finger. Now, about in the middle, we're gonna go across and we're going to go down. And that's going to be rounded at the bottom. It's going to round out like so. And then from here to here, this is the end of the tip of the finger. This is the middle of the finger. About halfway, this goes across and this goes down. And then we're going to bring that around. Okay, so these are the sections of the fingers. So I started with the cylinder and we end with something that's kind of box-like on top, okay? So that goes across, then it rounds out on the bottom, okay? This is stuff, I'm giving you guys stuff that you'll learn in college, okay? And I'm doing that because I want you to be ready for college or ready for university or ready for an art career or ready for an art school. And I want you to be ahead of the other students. I want you guys to be ahead, to be able to, be able to do whatever's asked of you. Like this will be like you'll go in there and you'll be able to, be able to understand what they're giving you even more. Okay, now they've given you all that stuff. What I want to do right now is I want to you guys have 2 pieces of paper, so you already used that up, and so I don't want you guys to get up and get another piece of paper. So what I want you guys to do is just flip one of the pieces of paper over that you have. Just flip one of the pieces of paper over that you guys have. Okay? And let's draw this hand that's up on the screen together. And what I'm going to start with first is I'm going to start with the hand. So I'm going to start with this part right here. I'm going to start with the hand or the palm and drawing that in. So we're just going to go, I'm going to imagine the fingers aren't there. So I'm going to go, okay. So that's where the fingers are coming out of. And you guys are going to do this with me. And we're bringing that in. And we're bringing that in like so. All right, and this is curving under. This is like where the wrist is. And this is coming down like so. And this is coming down like so. All right, so I'm going to start out with that. I'm putting this in because what attaches to this? The fingers attach to this, and this is the base. Okay, so the fingers attach here. Oh, okay. And so what we're going to do next is I'm going to put this thumb section in here. This is going through right here. Now, all this stuff, this rounded stuff right here, this is muscle. You have muscle right here. This is all filled with muscle. This is all filled with muscle. Even in between your fingers, there's soft tissue in between the fingers here, and these allow your fingers to open and close like so. You have muscles in between that, but we don't really see those, okay? All right. We got a tendon coming down like so. We have another tendon about right there.
How come there's such a delay?
It's YouTube Live, so it's, yeah. But it works. It's working. Okay. And so this is coming like that. Yeah, when Zoom was just, this is cleaner and crisper. Zoom was blurry, and District doesn't have Zoom anymore. And I tried Google Meet, and that works, but I can't zoom in and out on my I can't zoom in and out, but this I can zoom in and out and stuff.
So is this going out to the world on YouTube?
Yeah, I just have it live. Yeah,
The whole world gets to see it.
they can if they want to. Yeah, if they know I'm here. Yeah, if they know we're here. Okay, there's a couple people online. There's like 3 people.
Wait, what's it called?
Matt Harwood Art. I have a channel. But don't have the volume down because there's a delay. So, yeah, turn your volume all the way down on your phone if you watch it. Okay. Okay. Shh. Stop. Put your phones away. We're doing this. You can do that later. We're doing this right now. Okay. So what we want to do now is we're going to put this, let's go to the thumb. So we started with this thumb here. And this is going to go across. And what I'm doing is I'm thinking, Okay, where does that thumb, and I'm thinking of those S curves. Remember the S curves I talked about? Here's an S curve. That thumb's doing this, and then it's going like this. Here's a C curve. Talked about C curves. And this is going around like so. Now, remember wrapping lines? We're talking about wrapping lines, cross contour lines. This is going like that. And then we're going to do a straight. And this is going to come around like so. Okay, so there's our basic thumb. Okay, we're just constructing this thing. So we're using a combination of shapes and form. All right. Now let's go like this. We're going to put this section, pointer finger. Hey, turn the volume down.
That's wild.
And turn it up. Yeah, just turn it off for
now.
now.
1,000 subscribers have.
Huh?
You actually got a lot of subscribers.
I make videos, dude. I just do art stuff. Okay, we can talk about it after. But right now we got to finish this up. Okay, this section of the finger, this is wrapping around. Okay? And I'm looking at the angle of the fingers going like this, and then it's going like this, and then it's going like this, and then it's going like this. And this is wrapping around. This is wrapping around like so. This is going straight, okay, like that. And what I'm doing is I'm paying attention to angles, to distances, and this is a little off, but it's okay. Now this finger here, you're like, what the heck? How do we even draw that finger? What's going on? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go like this first, and then this finger ends about right here, and it comes down, and we know that it attaches down here somewhere. Then we have the ring finger. We're going to go, okay, well, that ring finger's doing this. It's overlapping, going in front of that middle finger. So right now what I'm doing is I'm thinking mostly of shape. Some of these things I'm thinking shape. And I'm switching between the shape of something and the form of something. Okay, so here's the top of that knuckle. That's going back in space. It's angling back. And then I go, okay, here's that thumb. And then I go, where's the pinky? Okay, that pinky's coming up. It's going over. Now watch this. It's going up. It's going over. And it's going down. And then it's going down again. And then here, this is the top of the knuckle, the top of the finger. Top of the finger. You're like, the finger has a top? Yes, it does. That's the top. That's the side. That's the other side. That's the bottom. Okay? And then we're going to go. This is coming down, wrapping around. Then we have that right there. That's section number 1. That's section number 2. Section number 3, right? Digit number 1, digit number 2, digit number 3. Here we have digit number 1, digit number 2. We can't see digit number 3. Okay? Now, let's go to the middle finger. What can we see? Well, we see a pinch. You're like, what's a pinch? What the heck is a pinch? Here's the finger, right? There's your pinch. Pinching, stretching on top. Pinching, stretching on top. The human body, here's a stretch right here. Here's the skin stretching, right? So that's a pinch, that's a stretch. That's a pinch, that's a stretch, okay? So here's a pinch. The tissue's going around. This is where I'm thinking ovoid. I'm thinking, remember, we have ovoids, we have cylinders to use, and we have boxes to use. Those 3 tools. All right, this is coming up. Then we go like this. Okay, we're just going to go. This is the end of the finger. It's pointed towards us. There's the nail bed. Going back a little bit. It's shortened. This is called foreshortening. There's the top of the knuckle. It's angling outward. Angling outward. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see this better. All right. So that's coming down. This is curving around. That's coming down. This is curving around and connecting. So here's digit 1, here's digit 2, here's digit 3. Now, I'm going really, really slow on this. And in the beginning, slow is good, guys. Okay, slow is good. Because as you start to understand, as you practice, and you start to understand, you'll understand more and more and more as you practice. Okay? And you'll get better and better and better and better. And speed will come. And I'm purposely going slow right now. All right, let's do this nail. So I can see this nail's pointed towards us. And that's going back. And it's curving around. Okay. And then the pinky is curving downward, actually. I'd say it's curving down and then coming up, and it's smaller. Make sure that pinky's smaller. Now, let's put that thumb in. Now watch this. For the thumbnail, we're going to go, I'm going to go like this. No, I'm going to go like that. And then straight. I'm going to arc, then straight, and then we're going to curve that. Okay. Now this is basic construction, and then or blocking in. This is called blocking in, when we get in like pretty much what it looks like in proportions. Then we can go and we can put in details. But I'm not going to get super detailed with this today because it's just like, it's your basic, this is lesson number 1 in drawing hands. Okay, here we have, this is the thumb knuckle here. This is doing this. Now here, this is going over. So this is arcing over, under, over, because we know that there's bone there. And this bone is going this way, okay? That bone's going that direction. Yeah. Okay? We got a little pooch right there, a little bump. We want this also to round. And what am I missing? Okay, we need to move this line up more. Closer to that knuckle. Okay? And this is coming around, coming down. And that's splitting into a V. And there's a major wrinkle there. I'm going to put major folds in right now. I'm going to add some major folds. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. The reason why I'm putting these major folds in the hand, there are some major folds, just is for shadows. There's a bump here. There's a major pad of skin that's coming around. And this is stretching, going through. See, look, I'm thinking through. That's going like so. And I'm looking at my reference the entire time. All right, so there's our major folds. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is which we talked about a little bit about, is shading and light. What we already have the white of the paper. So now we got to add shadows. What I'm going to ask myself now, the question is, which way is the light coming from? And the light's coming from this direction. Okay, so that's where the light's coming from. Now, what we need to do as artists, and what is helpful to do, is to make a distinction between light and shadow. We're going to put a division line, a light division line where the shadow is. So this finger here, we're going to go, that is where it's curved. That's where the light is and shadow is. S for shadow, okay? And then we're going to go right there. Bump, bump. Light, shadow. Here, we're going to go like this. Light, this little triangle is shadow. Here, we have that little triangle is S for shadow. That's light. So let's fill that in. And I'm just going to go zigzag like that lightly. Okay? We're just going to go like that. We're just going to go like this. We're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. And so immediately it starts to read. All right? This right here, I know it's rounded, right? I know this is rounded. So we're going to go like, there's shadow there. Light, shadow. For this finger, we're going to go, this top portion is in shadow. The fingernail is in shadow. This is rounded, so I'm going to go like this. Okay, that tip of the finger. Now, the thumb. That shadow line's going to go across that knuckle, down towards us, and I'm going to say it's going to go back. Now watch the zigzag. Away from us, towards us, away from us, towards us. See the stretching of the skin there? I'm following like the stretching of the skin. And towards us, away from us, towards. And let's just simplify this whole thing here and go down like that and round that out. Something like that, okay? If you get something like that, you're good, okay? And all that's going to be in shadow. Okay? This is what I mean by shadow shapes. You know, you're making a distinction between light and shadow. Now, can you blend that? Yeah. But what we're trying to do right now is just get dimension, some sort of dimension. Okay, the tip of this finger, I'm going to exaggerate this and go, the tip of the finger is rounded. I'm just going to go like this. And all this is going to be in shadow. And then I'm going to round that out this way. I'm going to round this out in that direction. And all this is going to be in shadow. You guys see what's happening here now? So for you advanced people, intermediate and advanced, you know, you're painting something, you want something to read dimensionally. If you just pay attention, and this is for all of you, not just advanced or intermediate, but let's put a shadow shape going down the middle of the nail and over here. You know, you want something to read dimensionally, light and shadow. Where are your shadow shapes? You know, put them in. Now, let's go down here to the wrist. This goes up, down, all the way to this tendon, and then off in that direction. Now, we have a little light patch. Watch this. A little light patch right here. That little crescent shape is going to be L for light, and that's L for light, okay? And let's exaggerate this and go, this is L for light. I'm exaggerating reflected light here. Okay, there's this stuff called reflected light, which I'll talk to you guys later about. But right now, all this is going to be in shadow. I'm not pushing down hard. I'm pushing down really light. I'm just going to go over that because that's... We'll talk about reflected light later. But all this is going to be in shadow. I changed my mind up there. Here's a shadow shape where these tendons are. Okay? And this is a very, it's called a graphic way of shading. We haven't blended anything, but this is really, really, really important in painting. When you decide this is in light, this is in shadow. And if we want to make this hand really pop, watch this. Let's go like this. Blend outward, blend outward. Let's blend zigzag outward. So I'm surrounding this hand just over here. Maybe a little bit of value, be really, really light over here. Light, 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 light pressure. And then that thing can really pop, okay? But this is as far, I'm gonna kind of darken some of these lines, these folding lines and creases in the finger and the thumb so they pop out because I kind of lost them when we were shading. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. I appreciate you guys listening and paying attention and drawing this with me. And what I encourage you to do now, this is fresh in your brain, okay? This is fresh in your brain. You're like, dude, my brain's gonna explode, or this is super cool, or I don't know what you're thinking. But I would encourage you to go home. We have a little bit of time left. Do a quick study now, or when you go home today, do this every day. Do a hand study like I did with you. Do 2 a day, 1 a day, in 30 days. You'll see how you'll start to understand this, and your brain will accept what I've given you, and you'll start to understand it more and more and more and more and more. So I encourage you guys to practice this. Okay, you guys got to put your name and date on each of these. Hold on to these. We're going to turn these in later on Canvas. All right, thanks, guys. That's it.